Hello, boys and girls. I'm here in my work clothes today to talk to you about blowing out your own sprinklers. There are three reasons that I like to blow out my own sprinklers. Number one, you can buy pretty much all the tools that you need for about what it costs you to have a service come out and do it. Number two, you're not beholden to their schedule. So if a cold snap is coming sooner than expected and you can't get them on your schedule, you're not risking having your pipes burst in your sprinkler system. And then number three is that during the dry winter months, when it is imperative to water your lawn to avoid winter kill, you can very easily recharge your sprinklers, water everything instead of having to hand water everything, and then blow them back out. Let's talk about what we need to blow out our sprinklers. So the first thing is an air compressor. Now this one is quite small to do the job. What I like about it is, number one, I've had it forever, and number two, it's really easy to store. So the second thing that you're going to need is a hose, obviously. This hose is what connects this to your sprinkler system. Now, your air compressor will come with a hose, but I chose to buy a longer hose so that I don't have to move my air compressor every time I want to blow out my sprinklers. It makes it more convenient and I'm more apt to do it. The third thing that you're going to need is this is a quick connect. Now, this is a male quick connect because it goes inside the fitting. You figure out the reference. And this is 1/4 inch. Most of the air compressors that are home use are going to be 1/4 inch connections. The next thing you're going to need is a flathead screwdriver, and then the last is an adjustable wrench. And then what's really handy to have is a piece of garden hose. You can use a whole garden hose. It just gets a bit ungangly. And then, or a bucket if you don't have that handy. So that's everything you need to blow out your own sprinklers. Now, hopefully from my backflow freezing season video that I posted last month, you know where your main is for your sprinkler line. So this is my personal home. This is my main here. So I know that this turns off my sprinkler line. So now every system is going to be different, but this is the drain for my sprinkler system. So I happen to also know that this line is very long to where it goes out. So there's going to be a lot of water in here. So a bucket might not cover it. So we could use a bucket here. But what's also easier is in most utility rooms, there's going to be a floor drain. I have a floor drain right where the camera is. And so I'm just going to connect this hose here like this, and then route that little piece of hose to the floor drain. And then I actually leave this here year round so that it's really easy for me to drain this line. So now that this is connected, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open it up. And you're not going to hear any water rushing out. And that's because the air has to come up here to let this water come out. So it's going to come out at a trickle. But the secret is go up to the backflow preventer and open up the lower one so that that water can drain out quickly. So here is my backflow preventer. And as a reminder, the upper one, this goes out into the sprinkler system. And then the lower one, that goes back down in. So to drain the rest of that line, all we have to do is 1/4 turn there, and then I can instantly hear the water rushing in there to drain the line back into that hose that I already set up. The next piece that we need to do for blowing out our sprinkler system is take that male quick connect, and we need to connect it to this guy here. So all we're going to do is thread it in real easy, and then just give it a couple turns. Doesn't need to be super tight. So that's plenty. As a reminder, this screw head lets you know whether the valve is open or closed. So when it's perpendicular, it is closed. When it is in line, it is open. Now that the water is off and the line is drained, it's time to connect the air compressor to the line. And this piece is really critical. You can see here that we have two dials. This dial is the overall pressure in the air compressor. Now my compressor only goes to 135 psi. So this is showing that I have full pressure. This pressure is the pressure that's going out to the line. Your sprinkler lines are only designed to hold about 40 to 50, maybe 60 psi of air pressure. So if I was to put this in there, I could potentially blow the fittings, even blow the pipes in the line. So I need to use this dial to dial down the air compressor down to about 40 to 50 psi so that I don't ruin my sprinkler system. Okay, our air compressor is set up in the garage, it's charged and on, and now it is time to hook up the air to the system. The most important thing is you want to connect this air to this first because your backflow preventer is already sealed. The water has it pushed up. If you alleviate that air pressure, then you need to have enough air pressure to get that to reseal. But since this is already sealed, now I can open this and then we have instant seal and we're ready to blow out our sprinklers. So these are your zones. And there are two ways that you can blow out each zone. One is by actuating the zone in here, and the other is using your controller. I would use my controller, except my controller is controlled by my phone, and I'm using my phone to video this. So here I'm going to turn on the zone. And then you can see my sprinklers are running. You can hear, you can start to see the air coming out. So that's it. You just let each zone run about 30 to 60 seconds until some air comes out of the last head. That's what I do. Now, if you leave water in the system, it can collect in a low spot and still freeze the line. So I'll leave it up to you in terms of how long you want to let that run. The next thing is you definitely want to let the system recharge in between each zone. In talking to the professionals, they say that the system can easily hold 80 to 100 pounds of pressure, but that it's actually air volume and not air pressure that blows out the system amply. So if you need to up the pressure to either get things to seal or get heads to pop up, feel free to do so. The next thing that I personally recommend is making sure that the system is completely sealed back up so that when you go to turn back on the system, that you don't have water squirting everywhere. Now, the professionals will tell you to leave all of the ball valves, so the valves that we opened, at a 45-degree angle so that if there is any water in there that it won't freeze. But I've done this for years and I've never had a problem leaving the system fully closed. So that's everything. I hope this has been helpful and I am more than happy to answer any questions. I am by no means an expert, but I've been doing this for years for myself, and so happy to provide any insights or advice if you need it. Thanks so much for watching and hope to see you soon.